In the last videos, we connected the Widi devices from CME Pro with the smartphone, wherever it may be, and then also connected it once with the computer. That worked wonderfully. Today I want to show you how we organize the Widi CME devices into groups, meaning connecting several with each other. I now have two Widi masters, one from earlier, the U-host, and the VidiBud Pro, and I want to show you how that works. There is a pitfall which I will address at the very end of the video, so it's worth watching until the end. We already tried it yesterday after I was frustrated for 2 days last week. It's actually quite simple, so take a look at the whole thing. I have now reset everything once in the first step. That means they are in the factory settings, and now we go together into the app, and see here that it has recognized all four. In the instructions available from CME on the internet, it is said that you should turn them on one by one in sequence. That probably makes sense, but we actually managed to turn them all on at the same time yesterday. Let's take another look here. I've already shown you all of this before. When you go in there, the name is displayed here, then the serial number, Bluetooth, firmware, hardware, and so on, and the settings at the bottom. This is now set to auto. We're going to exit here again. See all four again. I'll tell you now how I connected everything. I have the VidiBud Pro in the Yamaha MODX in the USB port. It has the disadvantage or advantage, depending on how you see it, that only signal goes in. The MODX doesn't send anything out, only signal goes in. I have one Vidi, which one it is, I don't know right now, in the stage. The other one I have in the MODX, in the MIDI, and the video host is connected to the MacBook, and indeed directly on the Mac. Last time I had it on the USB hub, or rather on my docking station. There were problems, and today we'll take a look to see if this problem also occurs when connected directly. Maybe that was the issue last time. So we then go down to group. You can already see here that I have created a group. I would just continue using it now. And when you start, then I'll just reset it to the default state. Then it looks like this. So this is what you see when you start here. You can see that you have one central and can set up 4 peripheral devices. What do we do in the next step? We decide who will be the host. And I want my laptop, the video host, to be the central unit and all others to be peripheral devices. This means all other devices can communicate with the U-host. The U-host can communicate with all other devices, but these devices cannot communicate with each other. Then you click on Download Group. Then you see at the bottom how it progresses, indicating that it is doing it and marks it with a check. And soon it gives us an overview and shows us if it has changed everything. You see with a check mark how the U-host has received its role, how the bad Pro has received a role, and so on and so forth. Now I press OK. And then you have to restart them all together. What I have also done now is I have disconnected all USB connections from the MODX and the stage. So we are now only operating via Vidi, and in the next step we need to restart everything once. And to restart, for that I will put the phone down. For a moment, as I can't get a good perspective, you have to turn off the devices, and the U-host down here, you pull it out of the USB cable once. And now let's stay briefly with the handheld camera. We can now see here that the light is no longer blue. This means that it has now identified itself as the central. And now, with the blinking, I would say that it is establishing a connection. Let's take a quick look. Or rather, no, it is not establishing a connection, but that means you can see here that it is glowing blue. Yes, I'll check if you can see it better. Yes, there you see it is glowing blue. And if we look up here now, the VidiBud is also glowing blue. And the Vidi Master is also glowing blue. Now all devices are connected to each other. Now I will re-establish the USB connection. At least, no, I actually don't need to. I also have audio in, all good. Now I will show you that it is connected to both. And to show you that, I have brought Geek Performer with me. We will now simply create a new rack space here. Let's add one on top with plus. This is now Geek Performer 4. Because I actually thought I had an empty set there, but obviously I don't. Now we have created a new set. Now let's do the very first thing. We right-click here on a MIDI input and here USB MIDI devices. This is the Vidi U-host. It is now recognized as a single device because we have it connected here. So it is the receiver. Then we add a plugin behind it. I would just take a Numa player here because it is very simple, piano in limit. Then we connect it. And the output is now through the MacBook speakers. I would just leave it like that for now so I don't get sidetracked and sound comes. And now ideally, if I turn down the volume on the stage, what comes through doesn't come through. And when I play on the MODX, nothing comes through either. What was the reason that it didn't work? Now let's try something else. We are now going into the settings here. We see here that it recognized the U-host. Last time it recognized the U-host. I would disconnect it once more now, and then it doesn't lose the Okay. I obviously clicked it away before, so that's wrong. We are going here now. You need to allow it beforehand, of course, on MIDI inputs, then on video host, and then everything will work. MODX. Can you even see that? Okay, I would change the camera perspective now, when we play on the MODX now. And play on the stage. Now in the next step we will insert a MIDI player here, media player, MIDI file player, and then connect it to the output in the video host. Then we'll see if we have any small MIDI file somewhere and see what happens, or rather first connect it to the Numa player here. So, and we press play and see what comes. Something came through. Now we click over to the Vivi out, as I forgot to turn up the volume. Sound is coming through there too, and now you can see it on the total mix as well. And when I turn up the stage, something should come through, and then something does come through. So what have we seen now? We have seen that we can send from both devices to the video host. We have seen that the video host sends back to both. The problem now is that the software can no longer distinguish between the two devices because it is the boss here. That means if you do something like this in the return direction, you need to clearly define the devices via MIDI using MIDI channels. That means, for example, stage only channel 1 and 2, mode X, 3 and 4, so that it knows exactly what it is doing. This is very important at this point. But it works relatively simply, like this. And the pitfall in the whole thing, why I couldn't get it right the first time, is that the devices kept reconnecting. And supposedly you can fix this by following the procedure in the manual. But that didn't work. They kept reconnecting with the smartphone, always with the iPhone. That means if you have set it up with the Widi app, I would in your place, and it really worked and was quite stable without problems. Now twice yesterday and today, turn off Bluetooth on the phone or on the device where you have the Widi app. Turn it off, then restart everything again. And then they connect as set in the group in the Widi app. Very simple and without problems. And use cases exist. The following Marius asked, Marius would like to switch both devices. That works now. So it also works with the iPad when I put the video in the video house onto the iPad. By the way, also with just a USB cable, I don't need anything separate. Power, that's wonderful. And I can send separate program changes to the stage and the MODX. So the whole thing is completely without problems. And I can also play with both devices in reverse. What doesn't work now is having both devices communicate with each other. Let them talk. For that, you would need to run extra cables or open a second group with different devices, which is also possible. Exactly. I hope I could help you a little. That works. If you have any more questions, feel free to write them in the comments. How do you find the use of Bluetooth MIDI on stage? And in the next video, I would then take a look at how it looks when we make this connection via the U-host and play larger programs. In the first round, it crackled when we connected directly to the laptop. Let's see if that's still the case there.